All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Mark McClellan. I'm the director of the Duke-Margolis Center for Health Policy, and on behalf of myself, my co-chair for this workshop series, Greg Simon, the NASM staff, and all of the other planning board members involved in getting us together today, I'd like to welcome you all to today's workshop on real-world data. This is the third in a series, Real-World Data and Evidence on Medical Product Development. This is the third in a series of workshops. I would also like to give a special thanks to our sponsor, the FDA's Office of the Commissioner, for their support for this event, for the support for this entire series, and the increasing amount of work that FDA is leading and supporting on real-world data and real-world evidence. This is the last of a three-part series, as I mentioned. It's being hosted by the National Academies Forum on Drug Discovery, Development, and Translation. As many of you know, the forum is an ongoing major activity here at the National Academies, addressing key problems and strategies in drug research and development, and it provides an ongoing neutral venue for stakeholders from across the spectrum of government, academia, industry foundations, consumer and patient groups to confront and discuss and address key issues of mutual interest in the area of drug R&D. The forum brings together a range of thought leaders, much as we're doing here today, to focus public attention on critical areas of drug R&D and to foster collaborative activity to understand and address these issues. And that's what we're going to try to continue to do today in the area of real-world evidence. This workshop aims to pull together and further develop some ideas and topics from our previous two workshops and provide input on useful, practically oriented tools for developers and consumers of real-world evidence to use. You're going to hear today and tomorrow in our sessions dealing with a range of issues and key challenges in real-world evidence about a set of decision tools, or really frames, that can potentially provide opportunities for accelerating and better understanding how real-world data can be used and the appropriate methods to reach conclusions about real-world evidence from those data. These decision aids include one on when is a real-world data element fit for assessment of eligibility, treatment, exposure, and outcomes. That's focusing on data quality and fitness for use. Another on when is on obscuring intervention allocation and trials to generate real-world evidence, why, who, and how. So that's on treatment assignment and how knowledge of treatment assignment can potentially affect results. A third on how tightly investigators should attempt to control or restrict treatment quality in a pragmatic or real-world trial, about the heterogeneity of treatments in real-world settings. And finally, how can bias and observational comparisons be assessed and minimized, a challenge with less than pure randomization in many real-world and observational contexts. So we'll go through a series of presentations looking back at past applications, looking forward to potential future applications. I would like to emphasize as well that this is part of a number of efforts that are underway to try to advance the science behind real-world data and evidence development. The National Academies work here is a way of bringing together and putting a bigger frame with these decision tools on work that is going on in the field. Our program at Duke-Margolis is focusing on supportive work for better understanding real-world data quality, and where observational studies can contribute to meeting substantial evidence requirements. A lot of focus on technical data and methods issues in those workshops and activities. The Clinical Trials Transformation Initiative, also based at Duke, has had some recent major work, including an announcement yesterday related to real-world data, including data collected directly from patients via mobile apps, wearables, and the like, and the conduct of clinical trials in that context. And again, FDA is undertaking some major efforts within internal framework development, research support, and support for building a national infrastructure for developing and using real-world evidence as a key part of a learning healthcare system. So today's workshop is in the context of a range of activities intended to advance this very important and unprecedented set of opportunities for developing better evidence. I want to, before turning to my co-chair, I just want to mention a few other important housekeeping activities. First, as a background, we will have a few breaks during the day, one this morning, one for lunch, an afternoon break in the middle of the afternoon. This this workshop is being webcast live. There will be a transcript put together, so you should view the things that you say here as on the record. They're going to be summarized and made available publicly and to FDA as sponsors of this work. There is also a Twitter hashtag for the workshop, hashtag drug forum and hashtag real world evidence. There's a slide that will be listing some additional, that lists these Twitter hashtags as we go through the day today. There will be a number of opportunities for those of you who are here to ask questions or make comments. We ask that you keep those concise. There are microphones around the room that you can use for that, and when you come up to make your comment or ask your question, please be sure to introduce yourself. The panelists for our sessions will be up at the table up front, and the microphones can be turned on and off with the button at the bottom. So please remember that so that everybody here and online can hear you when you're making your remarks. And we're going to make the slides available from the workshop today soon after, probably about a week after the workshop. They'll be available on the National Academies website associated with this workshop set. There will also be links to video recordings posted on the website page as soon as we can. There's some background information on the panelists, on the agenda for the day, which hopefully you all have seen, and if you haven't, they're available out front at the check-in desk. One more note about the National Academies workshops. This is part of this workshop series is a standalone set. It's not part of an ongoing consensus study. A summary of the presentations and discussions from the workshop will be prepared to reflect what happened during the workshop, and it'll be combined with similar summaries of the previous two workshops, and we'll make that broadly available to the public. So all the views that you're going to hear, we're going to reflect what you say in those summaries, and we want to emphasize as well, though, that these are the views of workshop participants. This is not a consensus process. There will not be specific findings or recommendations that are intended to reflect a consensus from everyone, but we certainly hope that the summary and your commitment to exchanging ideas and trying to build on the decision aids, the other tools that we're going to talk about today and tomorrow will contribute significantly to advancing the goals of impact for real-world evidence development for medical products.